Hey everyone, this is Riddle Hugger Raven. I'm here with my recap and review of Digimon Ghost Game the Anime Season number 1, Episode number 16. Now, I wasn't able to do my recap videos for the previous episode, and in the previous episode, Angoramon ended up unlocking his Digi-evolution into his champion form called Angoramon, and I enjoyed that episode. It ended up using this Digimon who was trying to he was converting humans into these stone statues by making them be fearful and then granting their wish, and it was just a fun episode. And I really like the fact that it also had Ruli's friends in there, and her two friends. They kind of suspect that she's keeping stuff from them, but they also understood that, you know what, we won't bring it up until she's comfortable enough to talk to us about that. So I appreciated that. Anyway, coming to episode number 16, which is titled The Man Eater's Forest. This was a very good episode, in my opinion, because ever since Gammamon ended up digivolving into Gulus Gammamon, I have been looking forward to seeing how Hiro is going to continue worrying about Gammamon and not wanting Gammamon to succumb to his dark side. So this episode ended up touching on that aspect of Gammamon as well, and Hiro being hesitant to allow Gammamon to go all out and tap into his anger and hate and all of that stuff. But yeah, the episode opens up with this guy. He's just running around in the forest. He's being chased by this red mist, and then he enters an area which has a green mist or a green fog, and then these numerous eyes end up appearing on leaves. And yeah, of course he gets scared. He runs off, but he enters the red fog again, and then he ends up seeing these trees coming towards him, trying to attack him, and then he gets caught by these. I guess you can say vines, flexible branches, whatever you want to call them, roots, I guess. And yeah, apparently he ends up being absorbed into a giant tree, it was a very creepy scene, in my opinion, and well done. The anime team handling that particular scene, I like that. So we cut to Hiro, and Hiro is out camping with Gammamon, and he ends up talking to these two guys over here, and they know Hiro because Hiro went camping with his dad, but he's all alone now. And they end up telling Hiro about how these random guests are disappearing, and that they haven't been paying their rent and all of that stuff. And they talk about how there's a shrine nearby for Kasumi-sama, and they think that it's Kasumi-sama who's snatching these people up and making them disappear. And Hiro's like, wait, are you guys serious? And they're like, no, we aren't serious, but we're just trying to come up with an explanation because guests come here and then they just disappear without paying. So be careful, Hiro. So we see Hiro setting up camp and having fun, and Gammamon is very, very excited. He's like, "Yeah, our new home. So what's next, Hiro? What are we going to do next?" And Hiro takes him fishing, and Gammamon wants to try fishing as well. Fishing is a very patient hobby, a patient activity where you need to be patient. So I was looking forward to seeing how Gammamon would do when it comes to just sitting and being patient. But yeah, as Gammamon is waiting for the fish to take his bait, this is where Hiro looks at Gammamon. He's like, "Yeah, Gammamon, you are just the way that I think you are." Because again, he is worried about the darkness inside of Gammamon, especially when he ended up digivolving into Galus Gammamon. That was a very different personality that came out, and Hiro just doesn't want Gammamon to go through that again. He wants Gammamon to be the friendly little thing that he is. And then we also get to know that because of the area that Hiro is in, he's not getting any cell service. Then we cut back to Hiro talking to Kiyoshiro and Ruli, and yeah, all of them are talking about how now, because of the events that occurred in the previous episode, all of their Digimon can now digivolve into their champion forms. However, Kiyoshiro and Ruli are like, you know what? But our Digimon only got one forms. However, Gammamon ended up getting a whole lot of forms. Hiro is like, yup, and then he mentions Galus Gammamon as well. And yeah, they're like, no, don't count that evolution, because yeah, Kiyoshiro and Ruli don't want to see that evolution, Digi evolution ever again either. So while they're talking, this is where we cut to another scene where these two guys are cutting down trees, and they get attacked by the red fog as well. And yeah, they end up getting absorbed by a giant tree too. And then Ruli is concerned about Hiro, and she's like, Kiyoshiro, can you go and check if Hiro is even in his room? And can't you go inside? And Kiyoshiro is like, hey, I can't go inside. I'm not allowed to go into another student's room without permission. And Jellymon is like, who cares about rules? And she ended up unlocking the door because she's like, you know what, Hiro isn't inside the room, you know? And then they go in, and yeah, Ruli is like, can you check his computer to see what he's up to? Or maybe it was Jellymon. Yeah, I think that it was Jellymon who was like, you know what, Hiro's computer is here, might as well go through his browsing history. And this is where to find out that Hiro ended up making a reservation at camp. And yeah, Ruli is yeah, she feels sorry for Hiro, and she also feels bad for Hiro because she thinks that her bringing up Gulus Gammamon and not wanting to talk about Gulus Gammamon, maybe that upset Hiro, and that's why he ended up that's why he decided to go camping without telling them. And yeah, Ruli feels bad, and Ruli is like, you know what, we have to check on Hiro. He's all alone, maybe he's not feeling well, we should go check up on him. And they try calling Hiro, but his self service isn't activated because he's not getting any signals. Anyway, the fact that Hiro ended up going camping on his own without telling Ruli and Kiyoshiro, who are basically his friends at this point. I'm like, Hiro, you know that Digimon exist, you know that danger's out there, you need to tell your friends about your whereabouts. But it is what it is. So anyway, Ruli is like, you know what, we have to go and check up on Hiro. So, because of the two men that were attacked in the forest, Gammamon is like, "Hey, Hiro, I think I heard something in the forest." And Hiro is like, "Yeah, let's go check it out." So they're in the forest. They end up seeing the tools that the two men were using, the chainsaw, in order to cut down the trees. And this is where they end up getting surrounded by red mist. And yeah, they see these strange looking trees coming towards them, and Gammamon headbutts one of them, but because of their hallucinations or illusions, Gammamon just goes through one of them. And Hero's like, you know what, Gammamon, we need to run. And then they end up entering the green mist area, and this is where they end up seeing a strange looking Digimon, which is basically Mori Shellmon. And yeah, then we get to see Hiro being captured by one of the roots, and he's being pulled away. And I'm like, how many times has Hiro been pulled away? A whole lot of times, right? But yeah, Gammamon goes in and he ends up biting the root off. He's like, yep, my bite attack worked. So that means that the root that was pulling Hiro away, that's physically present, unlike the illusions that they were facing earlier. So it turns out that the tree that's attacking everyone is basically Geraimon. And yeah, Geraimon is like an evil Digimon right now, and he ends up absorbing humans in order to gain nourishment and increase his tree rings and just becoming mature and bigger and all of that stuff. Now, the good Digimon that has been trying to help humans. It's Mori Shellmon. And yeah, Mori Shellmon is the one who has been creating the green mist, and he has been using his power of illusion in order to lure people into the green mist and away from Geraimon. And he ends up helping Hiro as well. And yeah, he's like, you know what, you guys need to help me defeat Geraimon, or else he's going to continue harming humans. And if he ends up gaining more power, it will be very difficult for me to stop him. And I'm like, wait, so Juraimon has ended up eating a couple of people, I guess, absorbing their nutrients, which is a very creepy thought to have. So while that's happening, Ruli and Kiyoshiro are in the bus and they're going towards the camping site. And Kiyoshiro is like, you know what? We're just going to go there. We're just going to see if Hiro is doing okay, and we aren't staying there. And Ruli is like, oh, sorry, I already booked a lodge. And I'm like, of course you did, Ruli. Of course you did. So it turns out that Geraimon can't actually enter Mori Shellmon's green mist. So Geraimon backs off, and this is where Mori Shellmon tells Hiro about how he has been trying to protect humans, and that he has been leading them into the green mist, and then he ends up putting them under his effect, which makes them go to sleep. And Hiro's like, wait. So you're telling me that there are a whole lot of people who you put to sleep? And Mori Shellmon is like, yeah, that's what I did. And also, you need to help me if you want the Geraimon situation to stop. And yeah, Geraimon ends up deciding to attack Morai Shellmon. And these two fight, and Geraimon is like, you're very young, Mori Shellmon. You won't be able to defeat me. I'm more mature. I have more tree rings than you. And they start fighting, and this is where Gammamon goes in for an attack. and he ends up digivolving into Betel Gammamon, and because Betel Gammamon has fire attacks, those fire attacks are quite effective against Geraimon, who's basically a tree. And yeah, Mori Shelmon is like, yeah, keep on burning Geraimon. You can end this Betel Gammamon, we can defeat him. However, this is where Hiro is like, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't want Betel Gammamon to actually burn up Geraimon and give into his darkness. There has to be another way. And yeah, I actually liked how the writers ended up handling Hero's feelings towards Gammamon, tapping into his darkness and feeling emotions, some sad, disappointing emotions, and turning into Galus Gammamon. So Hero's like, you know what, Gammamon? We need to think of another plan. I don't want you burning Geraimon up. And Body Shelmon is like, what the? Why the heck won't you just burn your opponent up? You are being very soft. You're being weak. But yeah, it turns out that Hero's weakness and stopping Betel Gammamon from burning Geraimon, it leads to Betel Gammamon being captured by Geraimon, and yeah, Geraimon is ready to absorb Betel Gammamon. However, this is where Kiyoshiro and Ruli come in, and yeah, we have Jellimon and Simba Angoramon working together in order to rescue Betel Gammamon. And Morai Shelmon is like, you know what, we need to retreat. We need to retreat now. And so they do. And this is where Mori Shelmon is like, hey, Rui, would you like to help me? Because you have no other choice. Either you're going to go and fight Geraimon, or I'm going to put you to sleep and all of that stuff. But yeah, the kids decide to help Mori Shelmon to defeat Geraimon. However, Hiro is determined to not allow Betel Gammamon to burn Geraimon up. Again, Mori Shelmon doesn't like that because Mori Shelmon is like, you're just being weak, kid. You're just being weak. So Geraimon comes in for another attack, and this is where Hiro ends up noticing these cracks on one of Joraimon's arms, and Hiro is like, you know what, we need to concentrate our attacks on this particular spot. So Jellimon comes in, she electrocutes Geraimon. Simba Angoramon comes in and uses his attack on the arm as well, and then Betel Gammamon comes in and ends up ripping the arm off. And of course, seeing his arm being ripped off in such a manner, Geraimon is very, very disappointed. Even though it's an ultimate level Digimon, I guess seeing his arm that he ended up spending a lot of time in order to grow, just lying on the ground, it hurts his ego. And Geraimon is like, you know what? I'll be back. I'll be back to attack you guys again when I've got more tree rings. And this is where the kids are like, how long does it take for Geraimon to have more tree rings? And Simba Angoramon is like 50 to 100 years, and they're like, oh, okay. So it turns out that having defeated Geraimon, a whole lot of people that were under his effect, they wake up, and I'm like, wait. That doesn't make sense, because isn't Geraimon supposed to absorb humans into his own body and feed off their nutrients? So if he was absorbing those people, because we did see Geraimon absorb people into him. So, especially the person that we saw during the beginning of the episode, maybe that person is dead and the rest aren't dead. Which again, it makes no sense. Why are these people still alive? I need to know. Why are these people still alive. Or maybe these were the people that Mori Shelmon had under his spell, and they were just sleeping. I am unsure. I'm not really sure what this entire scene was supposed to show us. But yeah, the humans are okay. I still think that some of them were killed. So anyway, this is where Hiro is like, you know what, Mori Shelmon, we have to go, but you will be protecting humans, right, if Geraimon comes back? And Shelmon is like, you know what, I can't promise anything. I can't promise that I can help anyone. And he just goes away. And I'm like, you know what, he will. He'll probably end up helping humans. And Ruli and Kiyoshiro are like, okay, so what now? And this is where Gammamon is like, let's get back to camping. And Hiro's like, well, I don't think we have enough supplies for everyone. But yeah, this is where the episode ends. I liked this particular episode. It was short. It didn't necessarily move the plot a whole lot, but I still like the fact that it gave us scenes showing that Hiro is very worried about Gammamon's state of mind, and he doesn't want Gammamon to get a chance to tap into his darkness, even if it meant that Betel Gammamon could have defeated Geraimon because of his fire attacks. But Hiro was like, no, No, I'm not going to allow Betel Gammamon to go down this route. I want him to stay a good person, and killing other Digimon, I think that's just not something that Hiro wants to do or wants Gammamon to do either. But yeah, let me know what you thought of the episode down in the comment section below. And I'm looking, yeah, before I end this review, the fact that Mori Shelmon told Hiro that he was being weak, I'm looking forward to seeing whether or not any of the upcoming episodes will show that, you know what, Hiro, sometimes the only option is to kill your opponent or terminate your opponent. So it will be very interesting to see if, when push comes to shove, whether or not Hiro decides to allow Gammamon to destroy an opponent to save himself or maybe save others. But yeah, let me know what you thought of the episode down in the comment section below. And until next time, stay happy, stay safe, stay blessed. See you guys later. Bye.